Hey there, gorgeous. It's Angeline Jasmin, the Glow Pro. Today I'm going to show you this really cool Rosie bridal glam that I did on the beautiful model, Jain. Stay tuned and find out more. Alright, so after I prepped her skin, I'm actually going over her eyelid area with a Gerard Cosmetics eyelid primer, and it's going to help conceal the eyelid but also create a nice base for the eyeshadows to stay and adhere and not shift around later. Now that I've applied the eyeshadow base, I'm going in with a custom blended cream contour. I used a few of the shades from an iconic London palette. Here I'm basically just kind of defining her nose a little bit more so it looks a little bit more defined. There's a little bit of warmth added to it, and just basically blend, making sure that the highlighted areas are highlighted and the areas that need that shading are shaded correctly. Now I'm going in with some transitional eyeshadow color. I'm using a pinky tone, and here I'm actually defining her lash line with a darker shade. This is basically going to help create depth in her eye shape and just really create a nice lifted eye. And just keep blending. You really just want to strategically place that eyeshadow to create the type of eye shape that you're trying to create. Since I'm going for a soft glam smoky eye, I'm basically smoking out her bottom lash with the same color that we're using in that outer corner and in the crease. You always want to use a shade that's darker. The darker the shade, the more bold it's going to be, so you just basically have to determine the kind of density that you want. In this case, I'm going for a softer smoky eye, so the shades I used were on the lighter side. They weren't as deep as like a rich dark brown or a black would be. Because I'm going for a very just glowy look, I wanted to create a shimmery lid. In this case, I used some of the OFRA Cosmetics highlighters in a rosy gold tone with a little bit of a pink tone over it to just give it a really beautiful rosy shimmery tone. Now that I've pretty much placed all my eyeshadow, I'm gonna go in with a chocolate brown colored pencil, cold pencil on her eye. This is basically going to create two different things. It's going to smoke out her lashes a little bit. It's also going to help the lash band, once we put false eyelashes on, blend better. And it's also going to create the illusion that her eyelashes are naturally more dense and fuller, which is kind of the look that we're going for. Now that we pretty much have the eye definition that we want, I'm gonna go in with some strip lashes. I used a volume natural lash that I really loved. I mean, feel free to choose the lash that goes best with your client. Here we're gonna go in with foundation. I'm using the Vision Cover by Dynessa Myricks. I love this. A little bit goes a long way. You definitely need to custom blend when using it for clients. For yourself, you just want to get a color match that's more based on your skin tone. And here I'm buffing it out with a brush. Again, very little goes a long way since this makeup is super pigmented. Here we're doing color correcting. The orange that you see around her eye, it's an orange based concealer, and it's basically going to cancel out any of those veins that you see peering through, which is what causes a lot of that darkness around the eye. Once I kind of color correct those areas, then I go over with a flesh toned concealer to A, remove that orange tone, and B, just make the skin look like skin, and no longer you're able to see that darkness or that brightening tone. Here we're going in and contouring the rest of her skin. I'm basically placing it in the areas that I want more shading and basically where I want more definition. A little bit goes a long way. I'm still using the iconic London cream bronzers for this. Once I have that cream in the place that I want, we blend it, and now we go over it with a powder bronzer. This is basically to deepen the color, to really just define it more and to just add more warmth to the skin, since foundation can wash you out. So you just kind of just want to make sure that you just really eyeball it and really take a look at how dense it is and how the tones start to look, and just blend. Blending is your best friend. Now we're done with contouring. I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow definer. This is going to actually define and fill in her brows slightly. She has really great brows, so I didn't really need to do much. If a person has longer or unruly brows, you definitely want to set it with a brow gel, something to keep the hairs in place. Hers were freshly done, so she really didn't need that, so that's why I'm only going in with the pencil to just really just define them better. You definitely want to make sure that you set the makeup. Here I'm using a translucent setting powder by Laura Mercier with a powder puff to press it into the skin to really just make sure that the makeup does not shift. Now I'm going over her cheekbones and some of the high points of her face with a highlighter. You can pretty much use any type of highlighter you want. Just make sure it's not a very chunky or glittery one. You want more of a shimmer. You don't really want to see glitter pieces everywhere. Now I'm going in with some blush. This one is the tone Deep Throat by NARS. I love it. It's a really beautiful, soft, shimmery, rosy pink. It just looks really gorgeous on skin. I'm applying it to the apples of her cheeks, but I'm also applying it to the high areas of her face to really create a really beautiful, lifted look. And it just gives a beautiful glow and a really nice youthfulness. Now I'm going in with a lip pencil to define her lip and also slightly fill it in to create a lip stain. I'm not a fan of matte lipstick, so because I wanted more of a glossy lip, I'm applying this lip liner and buffing it into the lip to make it more of a stain and topping it off with a beautiful gloss. And then to finish it off, just make sure that you really blend it before you apply the gloss. Here we're going to set her makeup with setting spray, and this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see next, and if you found this tutorial basically beneficial. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. See you later, gorgeous.